This next trailer is for a movie called Richard Jewell. I believe it's a Clint Eastwood movie, and I am interested to watch this, but with hesitation because I know his story, or for the most part, I know his story. And he is just a tragic character to me. What happened to him, it was just inexcusable. For anybody who doesn't know, in the 1996 Olympics, there was a terrorist attack. I think it was the Unabomber who was behind that. Krasinski, or whatever the heck his name is. I think it was him. And a security guard found a suspicious package. I think it might have actually been one of the bombs. And so at the time, of course, they're like, so at the time, he was hailed a hero initially. And then, as they're trying to figure out who in the heck had exploded, a bomb at the Olympics and had sent this bomb, or this, put this bomb there, suspicion started to fall on him. And he always declared that he hadn't done it. He was innocent. And the media, well, you know how the media is, you guys. Once they have decided what a narrative is going to be, that is very often what they stick with, even if it's not accurate. And they put up headlines that are very misleading, if not downright false. It's hugely unethical the way they behave a lot of times. And it's happening even today. And it was happening, back then even. So he, was not guilty. He hadn't done anything. I can't remember. I think maybe he reached a settlement or something. That, he was fired, I think, or whatever. He was basically destroyed. He was canceled. I mean, that was like way back when, before cancel culture was a thing. But that's basically what happened with him. And he ended up, I don't think he ever really, his life ever really got back to normal after that. And he did end up dying. Sorry, spoiler alert, but this is based on a true story. So I don't remember what he died from. I don't remember if it was like a heart attack or some other health condition or whatever. But I just always felt so sorry for this guy. And, in the beginning when suspicion was falling on him, I too was wondering because of, the way the headlines were worded and stuff like that. And then as it went on, and it just seemed to be pretty clear to me that I don't think so. And, then of course they found out who it really was years later. And it's just so sad when I think about this poor guy and how he was treated. So they made a movie of it. And I didn't even know that they were making a movie of it. Or if I did, I forgot, which happens a lot. But I didn't know they were making a movie, and I didn't know that it was Clint Eastwood. So it's probably going to be a pretty solid film. And obviously one I'd have to be in the right mood to watch, but I'm curious to watch it to find out a little bit more detail behind the scenes stuff that we weren't privy to when a lot of this stuff was going on. So let's check it out.
Let's get a new take going. All right, Richard, here's what we're gonna do. We need a voice.
Sorry.
I want you to say into this phone. We get bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Richard, you're a national hero now.
Thank you, sir. But I was just doing my job.
You always look at the guy who found the bomb, just like you always look at the guy who found the body.
Jewell fits the profile of the lone bomber, a frustrated white man who is a police wannabe who seeks to become.
You're a suspect.
You don't talk. I talk. Say it.
I don't talk.
This might be the only way to clear your name. I want you to say there's a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Stop trying to be their best friend.
I was raised to respect authority.
There's a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
His accusers are two of the most powerful forces in the world. The United States government and the media.
I do want to help y'all on law enforcement too. There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Did he do it?
Richard Jewell is an innocent man. He's a hero.
Poor guy.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
One more time, just a little louder.
I report the facts.
You've ruined this man's life.
There is
No, they don't always report the facts.
You have 30 minutes.
They often behave so unethically.
My son saved people's lives.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
You set that bomb.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
I don't know how to protect you.
I think your client is guilty as hell.
They want to fry you.
You gonna start fighting back?
Oh. Wow. That's very sad, you guys. I mean, I just get teary just thinking about this poor guy and what happened to him, what he went through. This looks like it's going to be very good because Clint Eastwood is a very good director. I don't necessarily gravitate towards his films because he tends to focus on dramatic movies, dramas and stuff like that, and that's not really my thing. This sort of movie is not necessarily something that would be my first choice, but because of the subject matter and because I know the story, I remember the story, and I have felt bad for this guy for the longest time. I think it's good that his story is told, and it seems like a very relevant story for today when people's lives can be so easily ruined once the media decides that that's how it's going to be. And well, you could get me started on that. They really get under my skin because many of them are so unethical the way they behave, and they do not just report the facts, they editorialize, and that is unethical. It's not their job to editorialize. It's their job to just tell us the facts, not to try to twist things in a way to sort of slant opinion, which they do all the time, you guys. I mean, there's a reason why many people, I think if not most people, don't trust the media. It's because of crap like this and other things that happen all the time. So when you feel like you don't know who to trust, it certainly does build a lot of suspicion. So like a lot of times nowadays when the media reports on something, I don't necessarily believe it unless I can verify it firsthand myself, going straight to the source and seeing. And a lot of times things that they claim that were said or things that they claimed happened, that was not the case at all. If you read below the headlines, which many people don't, because a lot of people are just busy with their lives. They don't have time to read everything below the headlines. They read the headline, they think that's the truth. And many times it is not, you guys. It just isn't. So it pays to be very cynical of the media. Well, that was a tangent, but I can get really fired up about stuff like that because, when you're talking about people's lives being destroyed, it's a pretty serious matter. And unethical people can do a lot of damage in their professions. And that goes for any, that can go for any profession. It's not just, journalism, but it can go, it's across the board sort of thing. But anyway, yes, this trailer was very well done. It was a little bit more than 2 minutes, 15 seconds or so. Like the previous trailer that I watched earlier today, it did not feel like it went too long, even though it was over 2 minutes. This is one of the ones, this is one of the ones that was put together very well. The narrative was good. It had this building, tension escalation where you were able to see where this was leading to. And it looks to me like the actors are going to do a fine job. The guy who they picked to portray him reminds me a lot of him. And I'm hoping that this does not portray his death. I mean, we know already that he's passed, but I'm sort of hoping that this will end. I mean, it will end on a happy note for him because he was cleared. I don't think he didn't go to jail or anything. He wasn't found guilty of anything because they had no proof. And I think, like I said, I think he won a settlement or something like that. So he was okay, at the end. But he, like I said, his life didn't recover. And I don't remember how many years passed between the time this was all over for him and when he died. It wasn't a whole lot. He's been gone for many years. So that's just terribly sad to me, and I hope that they don't really show that. I would rather just see it ending on a good note of him being able to prevail against these people who had destroyed him. So and then, you know, maybe we'll see a narrative at the end. But this might be something my parents would like to see. Maybe we'll go see it. We'll see. There's, you know, a lot of pretty decent movies coming out in November and December. So yeah, I don't know. A lot's going to depend on what's going on. But anyway, yeah. So I saw this, and this has made me sad and mad. And on that note, I am going to get back to work. Get back to work. Later, you guys. Bye.